This is Beach Talk Radio.
Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all ships at sea. This is your captain speaking, Bean Gene. Bean Gene. The following will be a test of the ship's whistle, the sonar alarm, the cable alarm, and the atomic attack alarm.
Live from Beach Time Out in the heart of Times Square. You're listening to Beach Talk Radio with Kim and Ed Bryant.
And good evening, everybody, and welcome to Beach Talk Radio. We are not live from Beach Time Out, although we're never going to change that open because in our mind's eye, we're at Beach Time Out. And that's where it all started. And every once in a while, we can go back there and broadcast from the rubble. And then the resurgence. And the Renaissance, as Jim likes to put it. So we're broadcasting live now.
We're looking forward to that day.
From the all too expensive home studio that we paid too much money for, including our Mickey Mouse lights that are bright and make you look sparkly.
Oh, I had to put some makeup on because last night that light, it's a bright light. It is a bright light.
You know, I don't understand why that light keeps flashing on and off, though. It's not flashing on and off in person.
Flashing on and off.
But it's not connecting well with the computer. But enough about our technical issues. We do have updates coming up later on with Councilman Dan Allers. But before we get to the updates, we did want to thank our friends Tom and Denise Clint, who sent us 4 bags of something I've never heard of in my life.
Because you don't get out much.
And what is that? That is Moose Munch.
Why
is it some
your
kind?
Lights are like blowing.
There you go, right there. Some kind of special popcorn.
So they're all different flavors. There's 4 bags, and it's popcorn, and then milk chocolate and dark chocolate, and this one is dark chocolate salted caramel. Mm-hmm.
All right, so they sent 4 bags.
Here's the thing.
Callie wants the food.
They also sent didn't they send the Omaha steaks?
I don't know.
They sent something.
Why do they keep sending us food?
They sent the Cinnabons.
I see.
So appreciative.
Yeah.
But I got my blood work back today.
High cholesterol, thanks to you people out there.
It's so irritating. I know. I eat fairly healthy. I do work out, and it's still high. It's just ridiculous.
I think that's just a way to get people on medicine, the high cholesterol thing. Ever died of high cholesterol? I don't think so.
Disease.
Right. If you go to the doctor enough times, they'll find something that'll kill you. Thank you so much, Tom and Denise, for all you have given to the people of Fort Myers Beach. You have saved us. Well, I don't know about that, but we thank you for
my sugar was a
the premium popcorn. We also wanted to say thank you to Mary Bennett Henricks right before this show. She gave us a $500 Venmo donation, a little something so that future generations, our family and others can create great memories on Fort Myers Beach, just as we have. Keep doing great things. Let's see. She is now moved to Fort Myers in 2020 after vacationing down here at Island Winds. And a $700 donation from Shannon Messina. She grew up in Fort Myers and was down this week after seeing the devastation and loss. Her company worked with her for donations, and this was the cash that was raised, $700. So between these 2 Venmo donations, $700 and $500. Drum roll, please. Very nice. Last night's total of $289,611 is now $294,838. Give yourselves a big virtual round of applause, everybody. $294,838. And we are definitely going to hit 300,000 at some point just from the shirt sales.
You have to do something big.
Speaking of the shirt sales, tomorrow, Marie, get ready. We're opening up the order form again tomorrow. There's a new batch that we picked up today. So more being shipped out. People are saying they're getting their shirts. And so we're going to start to take more orders tomorrow. We ordered 300 more shirts. And so we are creating a yellow army of shirts all over the country. One day we'll all get together.
Thank you, Vic.
And one more update, 67,000 followers after a 1,000 follower gain today. Not that anyone here in this room is counting the number of people, but I was like, I'm always looking at it. 66,438. Come on. What's going on here? So let's bring in Debbie. Debbie has been waiting in the green room. Speaking of donations, Debbie Troutman is the glass artisan. Did I say that right, Debbie?
Yes, or I'm also known as meant to be.
Meant to be.
Yes.
Well, you'll have to explain what that means then.
Well, everything fell in place that was meant to be. To have a location here in Kimmswick it was meant to be. When my landlord put her building up for sale, it was meant to be for me to find another building. We do laser engraving and etching, so it was meant to be for me to rescue people at the last minute when they need personalized gifts. So everything just kind of, it was meant to be, and it was meant to be for me to find you folks there on Fort Myers Beach after the hurricane.
So how did you find us, and why did you find us, and why did you donate?
Okay. Well, Kelly Heilenmeyer is also a shop owner here in Kimmswick, and she came up with the idea of doing a fundraiser for Fort Myers Beach. I asked her why she wanted to do this, and she said, I love Florida. She mostly goes to the Panhandle, but she just felt strongly about this event, or this catastrophe, I should say. So I have stayed a couple times at the Silver Sands Resort and had just spent a couple days here and there. I had made reservations after our Christmas season, which is extremely busy here, to spend an entire week at Silver Sands. So needless to say, my vacation is now being moved. So we pulled together within a week. We did a weekend event. We were just going to do Saturday, and we ended up doing Saturday and Sunday, and that was the donations that we had sent you. So it was just that I was devastated for the city or the beach of Fort Myers Beach, and we wanted to find some way. It was our way of doing the Kimmswick Merchants Association to the Fort Myers Beach Merchants Association to help out any way we could.
So what was the event?
Well, the fundraiser for what we had get donated to you.
Gotcha. And
yeah,
so
it was just
the total that you sent in was $1,370. So
correct,
that's pretty
and that
damn
was
good.
Yeah, that was just some of the shops that had put out a bucket. I was asking people if they wanted to donate. A lot of the people were donating $5, $10, that they had family on Fort Myers Beach. They had vacationed there, and they felt strongly about it. And I mean, for the town has 30 shops. 3 of those are restaurants. So it's not a big town, but we all work together, and this is what we came up with in 2 days.
I mean, when
it really goes to the power of just, every little bit, and then it adds up to this big amount. So if people are given $5 or $10 or $2 or their change or whatever, it adds up every time you do one of these events, whether it's an event or just a donation, raising donations. And I know that everyone down here really appreciates all the love and support from everybody so far and wide. It's crazy.
Some of the shops also did a percentage of their sales that day, and that's what was also contributed as well.
Nice. And when you get donations of 1,370 or 700 and 500, I mean, after a while, it starts to add up. It's like the first few days we were doing this fundraiser, and I saw what was in the Venmo account, and I called Venmo. I said, dude, you got somebody over there's got some bad math going on. Like do you have like an intern counting the dollars, or did you put somebody's money in our account by mistake? Because there was so much money in there. I thought there was a big mistake. So he sent me a spreadsheet of all the donations, and even the $50 and $75, when you get them from so many people, they do add up to big dollar amounts. And then, our eyes are bulging out because we're in the hundreds of thousands now. And it's just, we're getting ready to give another 20,000 this Saturday when we do the show on the beach to the Community Foundation and the Women's Club, which will take us even over the guaranteed amount of 150. We gave out another $3,000 today in cards. And I went to Target today and I didn't get rejected. I was able to buy $1,000 worth of cards. So baby steps.
Well, that's wonderful. Well, we
Yeah.
just appreciate everything that you're doing down there, and hopefully I'll be able to come back and spend my vacation back at Fort Myers Beach.
Well, thanks so much, Debbie, and I appreciate you sticking it out with me. We've been trying to do this for at least a week, and the last time was going to be last Friday, and I completely forgot because of everything that was going on at Buckets with everything. So thanks so much,
Well,
Debbie, and
Well,
we
why don't you
appreciate it.
do you have a website for your business?
Yeah.
Why don't you let people know?
Sure.
I am on Facebook. Is an easier way to do it. Is just meant to be on Facebook.
Meant to be. Awesome.
Yes.
Thanks a lot, Debbie.
Thank
you so
you.
much.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
All right, Debbie Troutman, the glass artisan from Kimswick. Now,
like
where
that
is
name.
Kimswick? I didn't catch the name of the
Think
state.
you can say it, but
You don't know either? Now I don't feel so dumb because you didn't hear where Kimswick is. Does anybody know where Kimswick is? About where it was? Is it in Illinois?
seems like
She sounded like, oh, it's in Missouri. We weren't even close. Everybody's saying Missouri now. Kimswick, Missouri. I wonder is that close to like St. Louis? I mean, that's the only city I know in Missouri. Kimswick, Missouri. You got to go there. It's on the Mississippi River.
nice.
Very nice.
I would like to go down the Mississippi River
Yeah.
in one of those
In a kayak or something.
in one of those paddle boats.
Yeah. All
Oh
righty.
no.
What?
Don't say it.
Come on, Christy. Is she messing things up again?
You're just putting the whammy on
No,
me.
the microphone. It looks like it's working fine here. Are you pulling a town of Fort Myers Beach technical glitch on us? It seems like it's working fine. I think it's Christy. You know, Christy logged on yesterday and she got a black screen
Steamboat.
on her computer. So I don't. So technical difficulties from where she is. The wish list, the Amazon wish list is still going, and the big need now is cleaning supplies, including Clorox bleach and what was the other thing? Vinegar.
I don't know. I also got a request from a family member of someone who's down there that needs a push broom and a leaf blower. He lost his place where he was living, and I don't have permission, so I'm not going to use names or anything, but he lost his place where he was living, and he works on the beach at one of the condos, and he stayed down there, and he's helping and helping and helping. He's been described as a guy that would give the shirt off of his own back, and it sounds like it from talking with his family. It just sounds like a wonderful person, but he needs a leaf blower with I'll have to put it up there with a certain amount of power. And I said, well, I looked at some corded ones, but the cordless, yeah, because, you got to be out there moving around. But so I know that that's something people, if he needs it, I'm guessing other people are going to need it to blow sand and debris around a heavy duty one. So
Kimswick, Missouri is 25 miles south of St. Louis on the river, according to Debbie. She just
thank you.
Type that in.
Sorry, we sometimes we just zone out and unimportant stuff.
Yeah.
I apologize that
I should have written that down earlier on.
Yes.
The
hey, I think our the guy that came to our house, our insurance adjuster, he was from there.
Kimswick?
Really nice
Yeah.
person. Well, no, Missouri.
One of the things we're going to ask Dan is coming on later in the show. One of the things we're going to ask him is about this, which Holly sent over, and I wanted to pop it up here to let people take a look at it themselves. Oop, I got to get that banner off there. Now, you people that are on the beach, I wonder what you're seeing. Like, this is a chart of the debris that's coming off the beach. Yep, all Fort Myers Beach. It's the report that was generated today. And if you look at the bottom chart, it says the hauled out monitors, hauled out trend of the debris is kind of dipping off. On 10/28, what was 10/28? Today is Tuesday, Monday, Saturday. Looks like Friday was the biggest day, 5,624 cubic yards. Then Sunday was a little bit lower, or was that Saturday? And then Sunday, all over 5,000, then 4,000 on Monday, and then looked like less than 3,000 today. And I wonder why that is. I mean, are you guys that are on the beach seeing that the debris is starting to look like it's fading down or what the story is on that, folks that are out there. And that's one of the things we're going to ask Dan.
What was that with the field monitors? What was the thing on top?
The field monitors.
Mm-hmm.
Let's put it back up there and see
Well,
what
you
mean.
went, not, you're way past it. It's right there.
The field monitors. Monitor count per
to-
day. So does that mean the number of trucks?
I don't know. That's
Because
going
each
up.
truck needs to have a field
The
monitor.
trend is going down.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I see. I mean, I'm not on the beach, but I see the debris trucks and the monitors every time.
Yeah.
Every time I see a debris truck, there's a monitor.
Well, the last thing that you want is to haul all this debris out of your neighborhood, whether it's Fort Myers Beach or Lee County or wherever, and then have FEMA come back and tell you that even though we gave you that money, you have to give it back because there was a Christmas tree and some of the debris or a dryer that shouldn't have been there and the monitor missed it. So that's what's going on with that. And we're going to ask Dan that. But I am trying to get Jennifer on here, and I'm going to see if she can jump on early. So I don't know if you wanted to read something.
Somebody
Just staring into space. That's why you're a
somebody earlier was talking about how they're driving down to Fort Myers Beach from Maine. Now that is a long drive.
All right, Jennifer, there you are. You're on mute. So there you're unmuted. Jennifer Gordon is with the Fort Myers Beach Fire Control District. Can you hear us okay, Jennifer?
I can.
Yes, we hear you loud and clear.
Good. How are you?
Good. Good. Did we catch you in the middle of doing something else? Are you good to go?
I'm ready. Thank
All
you.
right.
Yeah.
I try to catch people off guard so they're not going by the script. But the reason that we wanted to have you on was because there's some T-shirts that the fire district has put together, and while you were explaining it, I'm going to do something again that I should have done earlier. I'm going to find the shirt and then I'm going to be able to put it up there after you're explaining it. So go ahead and tell us what's going on.
Okay, so the Firefighters Union Benevolent Group got together and we had a T-shirt commissioned. One of our brothers that works at South Trail Fire Department, he actually did the artwork for it and donated it to us. So that was a huge help, and it's a wonderful design. He put a lot of thought into it, like the clock time that reads is the time of landfall. He's got our Station 31 on there, and some meaningful stuff. The firefighter flag, the law enforcement flag. So it's a pretty special shirt. We put it together as a fundraiser, strictly as a fundraiser shirt. We covered our cost that we put out to initially buy the shirts, and all the proceeds from the shirts are going to get donated back to the residents and the local community at Fort Myers Beach and St. Carlos Island.
And so can you tell us a little bit about the shirts? Are they short sleeve? Well, while he's looking.
So we have two different shirts that we're selling and a kid's shirt. One is like a performance type of shirt. It's a polyester, wicking shirt. It's gray and it's long sleeve. And the other one is a cotton blend. So it's a cotton poly blend, short sleeve. If you know anything about shirts, it's a next level brand. So you kind of know how they fit. They're more of a little bit more fitted shirt, short sleeve, and then a kid's shirt, which is also in the performance fabric.
That was a good idea. The kids shirt. I think that'll be really good. And how much are the shirts?
So the kids shirt is $20, the short sleeve shirt is $25, and the long sleeve performance shirt is $30.
And where do they go to order them?
We have a website, Southwest Florida Firefighter. Hold on, I'm sorry, I was putting it all together when you guys asked me if I could be a little bit early. And,
that's all right. He's clicking around on the computer, so I'm talking to you without looking at you at certain times, and it's distracting to me.
There you go.
So you can see.
Could you be ready, Mister? Good Lord, you're putting everybody.
There's the fire station up top there that took a little bit of a hit during the storm, eh?
Yep, it looks a little different now. They tore the front off of it, I don't know, probably about a week ago. So that whole area that you're looking at right there is gone. So yes, we have the long sleeve gray. You can see it there, the short sleeve for kids. And then we did just add a location where you can just make a donation if that's what the people feel like.
Can you hover over there?
Yeah, what's that? That's the design.
That's on the back of the shirt, and then on the front of the shirt is what you typically see on like our firefighter shirts, the Maltese cross. It's circled with a hurricane in the center. I don't know if you can see this any better. Probably not. Oh my gosh. Yep, I am technology. Not. It's amazing.
That's all right.
It's amazing that I'm even on here. So
no, you sound good. You sound crystal clear, and the camera's good. So
it looks great.
This is our fault.
No, our fault.
Yeah,
that would be his fault.
You
but
didn't
yeah,
want to come on the show.
it looks
tonight. You
great.
wanted to take the night off.
Well, I
have to take the night off.
Take the night off tomorrow night.
Show. Do a show. You don't take the night off. So Jennifer, how are the shirt sales going so far? Or did you
they're doing great. You know, it's so stressful when you do something like that and you're like, are they going to sell or are they not going to sell? But
yeah. Tell us about it.
Yeah. So we little under 48 hours from posting them up, we covered the cost of the initial order of shirts. So it's just been like wildfire, and it just, I mean, amongst all the things that have happened since the storm, you know, just see the generosity of people over and over and over again,
Crazy.
with wanting to help. And it's just, it's amazing. So
do you know how everyone's doing? I mean, the firefighters through this, many people, many service people, but we're talking about firefighters. So I'm going to ask about them. Must have been working 24 hours. I mean, were they on long shifts? How are they all doing? Things getting back to normal for all of them? What's going on?
So we did, right after the storm, we were working 48-hour shifts on, 48-hour shifts off. And then we went back to our regular 24-hour shift. So we've been doing our regular 24 on, 48 off for a while now. And Sunday was the last day that the New York IMT was here. So we're kind of getting back to taking over normal, you know, operations for us. Our jobs obviously are going to be a little different for the immediate future and a little bit longer. But I think everybody has really stepped up to, you know, adapt to that. And like you have to, I mean, there's no choice. So
Right.
we're good. You know, we're all heartbroken. We consider that place our home. We're out there every third day, you know, for 16, 20, you know, plus years. And so it's heartbreaking, but, you know, everybody's going to get through this.
Now, Jennifer, there was like a ceremony yesterday that you guys got some new equipment, right? Is that something you can talk about, or should I? I know
I am not as
okay.
Potentially that would be something the chief would talk about. I'm not sure exactly what it was.
He was not at liberty to say.
No, I actually wasn't there, so I'm not sure what the ceremony was for. I know of a few things, but I don't want to speak wrong, and it was for something else.
I know there was a donation of some equipment that you guys had lost in the storm from other fire districts. So I do have all that information that I can post on our website. I have pictures that were sent over to us. So I figured if you had any detail on that, we could talk about it too. But that was pretty cool to see that somebody from a different district donated those units that, you know, they're not like $5,000 pieces of equipment. Those things are unbelievable.
No, for sure. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. I think it might be the units from Jacksonville, the apparatus. But yeah, that would definitely be something the chief would have more information on than me.
Yep.
Now, with the T-shirts, are you guys just pushing it out on your website, or is it like the whole, like all of the firefighters all over the U.S. are kind of helping you get the word out?
We put it on our Instagram and our Facebook that we have. Our local union, 1826, they put it out on theirs, which kind of goes global, not global,
but yeah,
through the United States.
Yeah.
And we've been lucky enough to have like some great guys here, you know, from out of town, different counties, and, you know, they've kind of spread it through their counties as well. So it's just kind of traveling that way around. So I have a friend that lives up in Michigan, and I guess he saw it on our site, so he got one too. So
cool. Well, we thank you for your time and thank you for jumping on early. We appreciate it. We were
I
actually
apologize for him not being ready with the picture and messing that
No,
all
it's
up.
fine. I
but-
wasn't ready either. I was like writing things down. He's like, "Can you come on?" I'm like, "I'm
No, you
working
know what
on
it
it."
was? We were supposed to have somebody from like the Dolphin Inn come on and talk about this furniture she wants to give away, but she must have forgotten or gotten busy or something. So it's good that you're quick on your feet and good on the fly like that.
Well,
and,
that was it's like a one-off. Okay.
yeah.
Don't
Well,
expect this again.
We'll
Yeah,
keep-
no, definitely not.
We'll keep pushing out the website, and we love you guys. And
All
thank
right,
you for
appreciate
everything
that.
you've done. And good luck with the shirt sales. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right,
bye.
Jennifer Campbell from the Fort Myers Beach Fire Control District.
I feel like
the shirts
somebody
up over
should
time.
there will be somebody who buys every single
I know.
shirt.
There's so many shirts out there.
That's a great one. I mean, they're all great, but that is a cool one. That is a cool one.
The other thing for people to be aware of too, and I've said
They have
this
long sleeves.
I said this 1,000 times, and I try and post it on our page. And I see the folks are chatting back and forth about the our shirts, our yellow shirts. That unless you see us post a post like at the top of the page with a link, don't buy a shirt from anybody, because if somebody's posting a link in the comments box below the original post, it's a scammer. They're not going to get you a shirt. They're only going to take your credit card, and they're going to run other charges on your credit card until you see it, and then you call the bank and you have to go through all that rigmarole. But we've blocked probably 150 of them, and it's guessing it's the same guy that's just reproducing fake accounts. And the people that are on our page now are down with it. They know what's going on. And before I even have a chance,
it's a good thing to keep in mind from wherever you're buying shirts from, because I don't think we're being singled out by scammers. I think they'll try to
find a
scam.
page.
Yeah.
That's a popular page, and we've got a few extra folks now. Yeah.
Unless I don't even know if you had it watermarked or whatever. Maybe that would help, but
And the what's going on with our shirt now is we wanted to get caught up. We're getting caught up, and so the post the form will be put back up tomorrow, and it's going to be on the Beach Talk Radio News website. And the link will be, I'll share the link on the Facebook. So just be ready for that tomorrow. If you want to buy a shirt, we're getting all caught up because of Marie's hard work, and we have the form down, and the payment's either PayPal or by check, and you can mail the check in the mail made out to FMB Rebuild, which makes it simple. People were making checks out to Beach Talk Radio at first, and then the bank wouldn't take those deposits, so had to make the deposits in the Beach Talk Radio account and then transfer it over.
no one cares.
It's not a
about your
big deal,
problems.
but now that we have a system, everything is running smoothly. So tomorrow night will be Patrick Romko's final appearance on our show before the election, which is 1 week from today. 1 week from today will be the election, not only on Fort Myers Beach, but all over the United States of America. And, ever since the storm hit, I really haven't been paying attention to anything else, any other news story, election-wise, like I usually would be, other than the fact I know I'm voting no on electing the school superintendent. How are you voting on that?
I'm probably going to vote no.
No on that.
No.
Oh, look at you getting an opinion out there. It's so unusual.
I don't think it should be something that somebody runs for. I think it should be the way it is now.
Christine, if you're asking about our shirts, I don't want to be presumptuous here, but our shirts are $30 if you're local, $35 if they need to be shipped, and the $5 is just to pay for the shipping. And of course, you can donate any amount. A lot of people were sending in $100 for one shirt if they wanted to contribute extra to the fund, because the profit on the shirts it's all being put back into the money for.
Sounds like that's what they're doing with the firefighter shirts too. Pop that. How much were those?
The shirts for the firefighters
They're
are
pretty reasonable.
$30 for
For
the
a long sleeve shirt. Wow. Nice.
$25 for the short sleeve, and $20
For the kids.
for the kids, which is relatively cheap. For
Yeah.
something like this. So,
Yeah.
but you can donate any amount you
Yeah.
want. Our shirts are $30 for
Pickup.
for a local, and $35 for a shipping shirt. And we have men's and women's. My lovely bride. Oh, you're wearing a men's shirt. Why
I
are you
am.
wearing a men's shirt?
I could. We've
wanted to
been
show
so
off the
busy. I'm
lovely neck.
afraid that the laundry, and I'm a little behind. Chattanooga, Tennessee. Love
Yes.
Chattanooga.
I was just texting back and forth with, I think it was Kim, who I think works at a TV station in Chattanooga.
Love that is it's a wonderful town.
And our daughter was there for a little
Yep.
while. So we're going to try and get Dan on now. And if you want to communicate with some of the people, did you take the dog out? Because she's driving
No,
me
I
crazy
know.
right now. What's going on?
Let's see. I'm going to read one of these. We got just some great notes
From
and
today?
cards. Yep. And look, it's got a star on the front of it. Keep up the great work. I hope to meet and
And
walk
Allers.
the beach again someday.
6:45.
I know.
He's completely messed everything up,
One of
Dan.
our guests must have forgotten about us. So do you want to pop on the video so people can see you and we'll go early?
We could try if my internet works good enough.
Let's try. It seemed to be the only internet working today during the meeting. So let's see if it works now. Tell Ed we want to talk about permits. Yes, we're going to talk about permits for sure, Chris. That's going to be one of the things I have on my list of questions that you sent in. Dan.
Look, she bought some coffees.
Is that for us?
Yeah,
or is that, are you sure?
Shirt. This is for the shirts, and this is for the coffee is on me.
I
Thank
see.
you, Barbie Fritz.
For anyone wondering what the coffee thing is, if you want to contribute directly to the show, you can. And that's the website right there. It's buymeacoffee.com. And you guys have really taken care of us in the month of October. And we'll be coming back to you for the month of November. So you can buy 1 or 5 or 20 or 100, and you don't have to buy any at all. That's fine too. But if you would like to support the show, because you surely love how wonderful my wife's hair looks, and you know that it's costing me an arm and a leg to make sure it looks as lovely as it does every 2 weeks.
No, that's Jean.
3
It's
weeks.
Salon Avant Garde.
How
Fort
often do you
Myers.
have to get a hairdo like that done?
Well, I get mine done about every 8 weeks.
Every 8 weeks.
Yep.
Gotcha. Lots of people from the region. Good to see the region rats are here. Ah, very good. Region rats. He says that in a
Way too much
loving kind of way. Beach Talk Ready, Honey Eye Falls. Where is that? That's way upstate, right? Where in New York, upstate New York, is that?
Now, I
far
lived
up is
in New
that?
York a
So did
long
I.
time, and I have not heard
Thank
of
you,
that.
Vicky. Very nice. April, what does 4 weeks mean? Does that mean you're coming down in 4 weeks?
Or she gets her hair done in 4
I
weeks?
see. We're having a hair conversation now. I don't know if you guys have seen, but the first business on the beach opened up. It was the Cigar Hut. And a lot of people that watched the show went down there and said that they heard about it on the show, or maybe it was on the Facebook, and they went down there to spend some money. So that's a great thing for everybody to do. If you can start spending money with these businesses as they open, that would be really cool.
Cherry Hill, New Jersey. I was lived there for a
Buffalo.
while. You do your hair every 4 weeks. Wow.
I do mine every 2 weeks, everybody. I've got to get a shave every 2
Back
weeks.
your back.
No, that's gross. I can't believe you shared that with people. We're just going to call Dan. It's probably in transit. That's what the thing is. Yeah, you have to cut me down at least once every show. That's all right. I can take it. I have
Chester,
thick skin.
West Virginia. I want to get up to West Virginia.
All right, let's try it the phone way.
I'm trying to. I'm on hold on the link that you sent me.
No, you're not on hold on the link.
Yes,
I would
am.
be able to see you if you were.
Well, hold on a second.
Dan is not technically challenged, so I'm wondering why he's not able to jump in.
Yeah, all right, I'll do it this way. It said yeah.
We're fine. We could do it this way. You sound crystal clear. Everyone loves Dan. All right, so I am going to dispense with the mockery of trying to see the town pull off a Zoom meeting as they did this afternoon. But once you got rolling, it seemed like one of the top issues, and folks, you can ask your questions. We'll get to them. We have 27 minutes, unless Dan and Megan have something to do. The town will not be waiving the fees for the permits, something you proposed and Jim supported, but the other 3 shot down.
That's correct.
Thoughts
And
on that?
that's all you're going to say about
Any
that?
thoughts on that?
Well, I don't know what else to say. I mean, I thought it would have been a nice gesture to at least do a little bit, but the majority felt that is not the right decision, and I respect that, and we move forward.
So, I mean, I didn't get to listen to the meeting because I was at work, and maybe some folks on the show didn't. Can you summarize or paraphrase maybe what their rationale was for that?
Well, so a couple of weeks ago, the fire commission or the fire department opted to suspend the fees for permits. I thought it was 6 months, but Counselor Adderhall corrected me. It was 90 days. And I wanted to follow suit with them. I thought it would be the appropriate action to take. And I proposed it. A couple of the counselors didn't feel that that was the right choice as far as financially for the town at this time. And, it was 3-2 vote. So we move on.
I think Councilman Veach said it was an empty something or other. It was an empty gesture, which I think it was the furthest from an empty gesture. But
well, and I didn't quite understand that either. But we're past the point of arguing over stuff like that. It's you make your point, and if the majority doesn't feel that it's the right direction, then you just move on.
Right. Oh, to answer Eddie's question, it was Jim and Dan that voted for the waiving of the fees. So does this mean that all the fees that are on the books now, whatever the cost is for those fees, you're going to pay them? Is that what that means?
Essentially, yeah.
Okay. All right. One of the other issues that came up that was I thought was pretty positive was that the food trucks are needed as soon as possible, and that's good news for the folks like La Ola and SOB and the other Root Shrimp Company that we know they're going to have food trucks and the others. And as soon as the meeting was over, I called Tom at La Ola because I know those guys are so close to getting ready to get out there. So if this thing, one of the things Murphy said too was that he would expedite, or town would expedite things if they could get the food trucks down there because they need them so quickly. So what is the process to getting these trucks down there, and where will they wind up serving from?
Well, it sounded in the meeting today, it sounded like there's a form, at least an initial form that's available to fill out to be able to get this going. I was trying to get a little bit more clarification as to what exactly constitute a mobile device. Our attorney advised us basically it has to be something that is quickly removed. So I think that's still open-ended until we see, in a resolution or an ordinance, whatever it's going to be, as to what that temporary use is. I think what he stated was if it's a food truck, at least my understanding of the way he explained it was if it was a food truck, meaning it has wheels and it's mobile and it can drive itself, that it wouldn't necessarily need a temporary use permit, but I'm not 100% clear on that. But either way, it essentially came down to, in my opinion, that if it's a quickly removable, I don't want to use the word structure, but apparatus, that it would be an allowable thing on a permitted property. So if you don't own the land, but you're renting the space, obviously you would need the permission of the landowner to be able to put whatever it is you were going to put there. I think of, I'm from Minnesota, so anybody that's ever been ice fishing in their lives know that they have these trailers that have these wheels that you tow them into place, and then you could crank the wheels up and it sits flat on the ground. So, is that considered a food truck, or is that considered a trailer that obviously can't drive itself? So I think there's still a little bit of that to work out, but I think the message today was very clearly to whatever your plan is, whatever you have envisioned, or whatever your best business practice is going to be, to get to the town as quickly as you can and at least submit this form. That sounds like it still needs to get a little vetting from the attorney's office, but at least get in, show your interest, show that you want to do it. And I tried to make the point also that, people like you said, Tom from Loyola, and it takes, not like you just go buy these on the street corner. It takes some time to make.
Yeah, he was getting ready.
If you're going to invest some money to, it's not a cheap investment for these businesses. So they want any direction that I think we can clearly give them so that they completely understand whether they're going to go out and look for one, or it's a container, or whatever it might be.
Just get to the town quick. Yeah.
We need to get it done quick so that we can get the food to the people that want the food and a little bit of normalcy. So
we got a lot of questions, Dan. Got a lot of questions.
I know. I'm trying not to filibuster.
All right. And I was an ice fishing champion while I was in high school, so I know all about that.
I know you got a lot of questions, but I got to tell you a really quick story about ice fishing, right?
So quick.
Real quick. So Scott Allen from ADG, right?
Yeah, the new sponsor of the show.
Yeah, a great guy. So he had never been ice fishing in his life. So we took him up to Minnesota and went ice fishing. So, we're on 2-3 feet of ice, which is normal. And the poor guy, one of the guys that was up there from Minnesota, had an old school spoon. And anybody that's ever been ice fishing knows what I'm talking about. It's basically just like a big scoop spoon that it spins kind of like an auger, and it cuts the ice out. And
course.
it's just a small little spoon, right? Well, so we gave him this spoon and had him start digging into the ice. And he was cutting and cutting and cutting and cutting. And, you know, of course, we're just standing there out there in our gloves and whatever, having a beverage and
You
watching
guys
him.
are mean.
And he got about halfway through the hole, and you know, Scott's an in shape big guy, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he's
Probably
going, he's got his head on there.
sweating.
Oh, he's getting hot. He's like, so he got about halfway down the hole, and the guy walks over with the gas on. You want to use one of these? And he's like, oh, you know,
I got a set of one of those for
Sorry.
Christmas one year. I love them. They're fabulous.
sure you did.
I mean, there's another spoon
This
story.
is a great question from Deb. What about the beach rental fee for 2023? Is that still 300 and then 100 per bedroom? I don't know that anyone's going to have any places to rent, right? I mean, there won't be any.
Well, the answer, I guess the quick and easy answer to that would be yes. That was voted on by the majority, and it was passed. So that's on the books. Should there be any rentals anytime in the near future, that's still what's on there, and that quite frankly is not a thing that I think we're going to revisit anytime real soon, and we're going to probably be a while before we have any available short-term rentals or any amenities to even offer people.
One of the other things that came up today was, again, something you brought up, although the mayor tried to take a little bit of credit for it. The Hurricane Pass curfew is going to change pending approval from LCSO that they will check the passes, and people are if they have these purple passes, they will be allowed to leave the island for dinner or something and then come back after 7:00 and not have to worry about being stopped. Is that right?
Yeah. The point I was trying to make by bringing it up was, we've heard from several residents that either want to come in and work on their homes, but their flight can't get in, or, their work schedules, they can't get in. And, if they come in, their flight comes in at 6:50, they can't get down to the island. Or if someone's been working on the island all day, I think it, just for mental health purposes, it makes, if people want to leave the island to meet friends or to, just go 3 miles off the island to have something to eat at the McGregor Grill or whatever, to, just try to forget a little bit about what they've had to deal with all day. I think using our passes would make sense in that. But, one of the caveats that my fellow counselors wanted to add in there was that the Lee County Sheriff's Office would be on board. So I reached out to them today. They're going to talk about it tomorrow and get back to me tomorrow. But I can't speak for them, but I feel fairly confident that that's not going to be an issue. So people that are working on the island, you have your hurricane passes. They can, if you get done at the end of the day and you want to go, it wasn't just about leaving the island. It's, if it's 8:00 at night, you're working till it gets completely dark and you just want to go wash your clothes, or you just want to go, take a shower down at Santini, whatever it is. There are people, believe it or not, that do want to follow the rules, and they don't want to cause a problem. And, for them, I think this is what this was for. I don't think we're getting an overabundance of people just showing up with purple passes.
Speaking about the passes, somebody said my pass was lost in the car that floated away. How do I get another one? I mean,
I'll try to work on that starting tomorrow to figure out if we can get other ones printed fairly quickly, because ours are the same way. Both of our cars were lost and our passes were hanging on the rearview mirrors. So we're in the same boat. We don't necessarily have the passes either. So I know that's going to be an issue to get it.
I think a start.
It's a start. And I think if you have, a utility bill or something with you and you get stopped because you're out, I don't know that most people that are down working on the island on their homes, you're not going to see them at midnight. You're not going to see them at 10:00. They've been working all day in the sun, no air conditioning, trying to get their homes back to where they can move in. But, they're going to bed. They're going to go into their air conditioned RV or whatever it is, and they just want to go to bed. But people are going to want to take a shower at maybe 7, 8, 9 o'clock, but they want to take a shower before they go to bed. And those are the people I think that this was intended for. If you're out at midnight, 1 o'clock, you've got really no reason to be out there. Right. And those are the people that I'm sure the county sheriff's office will be very diligent about saying, what are you doing?
The sheriff's department has been great during this whole thing. They've just been so nice and helpful and everywhere, and all the other police departments and sheriff's agencies and state police that have been around. They've just been awesome. And then,
you said that because they really have. Sheriff Marcino and his group, as he calls them, his family, they've been tremendous. They've really, they've been taking a lot of curveballs. It's been a very long 30 days where things have changed constantly from every angle and every agency, and they've adapted. They do everything that they can do to make sure that we're safe, and they deserve a lot of kudos. And I think this will be another thing that they'll adapt to, and they'll move forward, because that's their job, that's their business, that's what they enjoy doing, and that's what they commit to do every single day that they go out there.
I'm going to put something up on the screen. I doubt you can see it if you're on the phone, Dan, but I got to get rid of this banner here. We were talking a little bit about debris before you came on, and it looks like the trend on Fort Myers Beach of debris removal is declining. On the 28th, it was, on the 27th. Well, let me just,
has he seen this before at all, ever?
It's on the town's website. It was
the debris activity, the daily debris activity report. It's kind of green and
green and yellow.
I the more I see these reports and the more I see, the eyes don't lie. When you drive down Estero Boulevard or you go down the side streets, your eyes don't lie to you. Reports are very difficult because it takes time. Every truck that comes in gets scanned, it gets logged.
Right.
How many cubic yards, and there's latency in that. It takes a little time to update that. But when you're on the island every single day and you're driving up and down the street every single day, you could see how fast they are moving to get this debris removed. It's quite astonishing, quite frankly, to see 30 days ago what it looked like and what it looks like now, or 35, whatever days we're at now. But it's every day that you go down there, it gets quicker and quicker. And the debris removal I'm sure a lot of it's private parties doing it themselves. And obviously the state and federal governments are helping us out. In the county.
All the way down Estero, do you know?
Do you watch my
For the most part, yes. For the most part, it is. It's there's new piles that could put out there, obviously, but you could definitely see the focus is to open up Estero Boulevard and make sure that's as clean. I'd say most of the sidewalks have at least had a skid loader go down it, where you can't ride down the sidewalks yet, but you can definitely see the progress that's been made. Even just coming onto the bridge over on San Carlos Island or just before. I think the last boat or the last two boats are on the trailer now. I noticed tonight when I was leaving that are ready to get hauled out of there. So both lanes on both sides will be open all the way down. That's a huge improvement because, as you know, those were no small boats. That Star Trek boat is not tiny.
So you're happy with the debris removal up to this point?
Well, can it always go faster? Sure. You can only throw so many resources at things, and you can only get so many trucks in a small little, in our case, 7 Mile Island, that you can't inundate the island with 150 trucks as much as we'd love to. It'd be very, very difficult to process it because these DMS sites where they dump all the debris can only process so fast. So it's a very calculated. These guys at Carter Golf, they know exactly what they're doing. It's their business. They know how much they can dump on them every day, how much they can process every day. So it's literally a tightrope walking act to give them as much as they can without overwhelming.
So Dan, do you have 60 days left on the FEMA clock?
No, there's been no announcement that I have heard of that it's been extended past the 60 days. At the county commission meeting today, they had mentioned that I believe on the 13th would be 2 weeks left. If I remember correctly, they said it was the 13th.
Of November?
There'd be 2 weeks left. That they're gonna officially ask for an extension to get that. Is what I heard
them talking about 90. Everybody was blurting out 90 like it was like all the politicians were blurting out 90 like it was going to be a foregone conclusion. But I guess they want to push people to 60 to see how much work they can get done before they commit to 90.
Sure, well, sure, but even the president himself said when he was here, he turned around and looked at Governor DeSantis and said, "You're going to need longer than 60 days." So they definitely see, the federal government, I think, definitely sees the amount of debris. I was talking with a lady today that was very much involved in Katrina, and how devastating Katrina was. And they said, we had it bad, and this was their first day here. And even after 30 some days of being cleaned up, she's like, we did not have the amount of debris that you have. We did not, because we're such a condensed area, and we are so dense that, they dealt with a lot of other things, obviously, that they didn't. This is just C&D. This is just construction and debris. This is just
Yeah.
It's sticks and twigs and houses and TVs and appliances. And so it being so dense and being such a small island, the massive, 2.5 million cubic yards they're estimating of just debris on our island alone.
Right. And that's just there.
Well, hopefully-
not to mention
Yeah.
Sanibel, Pine Island,
Yeah.
Mount Lachey,
They-
all the
yeah,
way up. Oh,
Again, one of the stats they said at the BOCC meeting today, which I thought was very, very, very telling, is they said, I think it was Sunday, that they had reached almost 100,000 cubic yards of debris removed in Lee County, which is a massive amount of debris.
Yeah.
And they expect about, by the end of the week, to have about 2 million of the 9 to 10 million that they estimate out there to be picked up. So
A lot of
that gives
broken
you
houses.
kind of that's a lot of broken houses. It's a lot of
Yeah.
debris. It's just hard to relate to people that haven't seen it with their own eyes.
All right.
How much really is there?
Hopefully the president. Hopefully the president will remember. He said 90 days.
is it still a long line to get on the island at 7 a.m.?
No,
I don't know.
I don't.
Not
I don't
like
think
it used to
wasn't on.
be.
It wasn't at 7 a.m.
No,
on Saturday.
The curfew is 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. So technically, yes.
No, is it a long line though in traffic?
Oh no.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm
Thank you,
down there
Nancy.
every single day.
Thank you,
I'm down
Nancy.
there
You're
every day
correct.
by 6, 7 o'clock, and
Yep.
there's been very, very little traffic. It does back up a little bit, but nothing like we had where it was,
Yeah.
back past Target and
Yeah. So another question, something to comment on that took place at the meeting today. You will need a permit if you want to demolish your house. But again, that's one of those things that they made it sound like they would expedite it. And that's going to be one of those things that you sign a waiver for if you want to have your house demolished, and the state will come in and help you out. But you will need a town permit, correct, Dan?
No, I think what you're saying is that I think what was said was that yes, you'll need a permit to demolish your house, but
Yeah.
it would be an expedited permit. You come in, basically get it, and walk out with it.
Right.
But yes, you would need a permit.
Okay.
I think you're talking about the sign off, or are you talking about the private property debris?
Yeah, that's
removal?
a state waiver thing. Different than you
That's
guys.
state, that's different from us. That's where I think it's Ian debris. Ian.
Come on, Dan.
God,
You should know it by
right
now.
Isn't it Ian
Everybody
debris
knows it.
cleanup?
No.
No, it's Ian
Ian debris removal.com.
No,
No, I got
Ian.
it.
No, it's cleanup.
That was
It's
right.
Ian debris cleanup.com.
You.
That's right.
It's Ian debris cleanup.com.
And Dan gets his first bill of the week.
Said it too, and you said no.
The girls, you always got to stick your nose in our fight.
Yeah.
So the permits.
If you remember from the, if you remember what they said from the meeting last week on Thursday, Mr. Guthrie said when you go on there and you sign up for it, his words were very specific and very poignant and very. I distinctly remember him saying, when you apply, you need to be ready. You need to be ready for them to come out. If they're going to come and remove your house or they're going to come and remove your debris, you need to be ready. They're not going to stop for you to say, oh, I think I saw a picture that's important to me. I need to
Right.
that when they come in, they're going to do their job and you're leaving with the debris gone, but they're not going to stop and give you time to pick through your belongings. So make sure you're
That's a good
ready.
point. Yeah. So
Someone is asking, if you walk into town hall and request a permit to demolish, can you get it that day? Is it that expedited, or do you know?
hopefully that's a minor permit, right?
Well, I can't answer that honestly with 100% certainty. So
Should be a
at this
quick
point, I guess
form.
I would. Well, and it will be, and I had conversations with our town manager and told him how much I think permits need to be expedited. We need to make it as quick and easy as possible for people to get their permits. Now, that doesn't mean that it's going to be lenient. It doesn't mean that, I can go 6 inches or 12 inches over my side setback and think you're going to get away with it.
Right.
No,
If you want to build back and you're ready to go now, you have to follow
The code.
No. But that was
Right.
about if you're going to get your house demolished,
But
and you
let's-
need to get a
Yeah.
permit.
Let's talk about
New construction permits are easy because you're obviously going to deal with a builder who's been through the process and you're starting from the ground up. If you're rehabbing your home, if your home has made it under the 50-50 rule, that's going to take a little bit of a different process. But basically, it's anybody that's ever been in construction knows that you don't if you do electric, you don't close the wall before the electric inspector says you can do it. You don't close the wall before the plumber says, or the plumbing inspection says you can do it. So there's a process that you go through, and as long as you follow the process that's in place, you won't have a problem. The problem is we need to get the permits in the hands of the professionals to be able to do their work. As they said in the meeting today, contractors, and I can speak from experience, have very, very short attention spans when it comes to, especially disasters like this. When you go into an area where you're working, where you're there to work, you're there to make money, you're there to get people back in their homes. If you have to wait a week or 2 weeks to get a permit, you're going to move on to the next one. You're going to move to the next town, or you're going to move to the next place that's affected, because we're not the only ones affected. And if their permit process is much more streamlined than ours, that's where the work's going to go.
So Dan,
and we need to do everything as a town to
let me
keep
ask
the
you,
workers that are here to work.
Let me jump in here. The town staff made it sound like the permits were all caught up and everybody was hunky-dory happy. But these people that are typing in this box here maybe they're just part of our cabal here, but they don't make it sound like it's all hunky-dory. Like Roger said, they're all caught up today. Is that true?
Well, I guess the easiest way to say is I'm a firm believer if there's smoke, there's fire. And if it's one person or the same people, I mean, if you're trying to get your permit and you're not getting it for whatever reason, please let me know. If it's an issue I can help with, I will certainly help with. But I need to know the specifics, because the only way that you can fix something that potentially is broken is to know what the problem is. And if we know what the problem is, if it's a staffing issue, if it's you didn't dot your I's or cross your T's issues, if it's a incomplete paperwork, whatever it is, I need to know that so that I can help relay that message to our staff to say, this is what I'm hearing. What can we do to fix it? What can I do, or what can the council do as a policymaker to speed up the process for them? Can we, does it take more bodies? Does it take, as Roger and I had spoken, one of the things that we talked about, or he had talked about is, here's the 6 or 9 things that we're going to do. It's going to be on your permit. When you get your permit, these are the rules you need to follow. And that's something that I can get behind. If you give someone up front, this is exactly what's going to happen if you don't do what you're supposed to do based on us expediting this permit for you, we're not going to be lenient on it. We're not going to be lenient on, if you think, I got my permit quick, so therefore I can bend the rules a little bit.
Right.
This is not a time to bend the rules. This is a time for us to do the way you're supposed to do, but you got to get the permit. Gotcha. And then we have to hope that everybody does it the way they're supposed to do it.
So you were at the county board meeting today, and boy, there's really some different opinions on where this 50%, not the 50% rule. I think everybody kind of understands the 50% rule now. It's who's going to add the percentage by what percentage on top of it. Like you guys on the beach are adding 20%. It sounded like the city of Fort Myers Beach is adding 30%. And
Fort Myers.
Fort Myers. Fort Myers is adding 30%. The county hasn't added anything yet. And there's people that want it to be higher than 30%. There's no consistency whatsoever.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a tangled web, as we've all figured out, but it's a tightrope walk of you can't, I guess the best way I could say it is there's going to be, unfortunately, people, no matter what the percentage is, they're not going to be able to build their homes back. As sad as that is, it's reality. And whatever that percentage ends up being, it's not everybody's going to be able to fit it under the wire. Maybe as Commissioner Greenwell said today, we can help out a couple of families, or we can help out a couple of homes to get through, but you have to be cognizant of FEMA and what their requirements are and how they're going to scrutinize it. And that's why I've said all along, I think it's very important that the municipalities within Lee County, we all stay in a line, that we all, if we're all in the same boat together, if we're all in the same percentage together, if we're all in the same vision, this is what we need to do. This is the best thing for each municipality in the county. And we stick together, then it's a unified front, right? It's this is what we agree that there's the best for our county or the best for our municipality. When you start doing 30, 20, 0, then it gives a bigger target, in my opinion, for
Yeah.
FEMA to say later. So whatever that magic number is going to be, I just wanted them to know, because it sounded like there was a little bit of confusion not confusion, but maybe not understanding as to why the town of Fort Myers Beach recommended that this is what our code says. And that's what I tried to iterate today in the meeting, was that our code calls for this 20% above what that value is. And that's how we got to it. But, we still have to see what the county is going to do. And they're sending it to their LPA on Monday.
And they're going to move quick. And they're going to hold a special meeting after that. Yep.
And Commissioner Hammond called for a meeting on Tuesday for this one agenda item. And so they'll vote it on Tuesday. And on Tuesday, we'll know
what the percentage
where the county's at, whatever that percentage is going to be. And if it's the 20%, then, the town of Fort Myers Beach is what our code says. We're already in line. If it's more or if it's less, then I think we should have that conversation as a council and decide if we want to stick with what our code is, or do we want to make an amendment, either up or down, whatever way it goes, or if it stays the same, as I said, then there's really nothing that we have to do. So I think it's important that we pay attention to that so that we can be unified. It just makes the most sense, in my opinion.
Somebody was asking, can you tell how many, do you estimate how many homes will be lost or demolished? Do you have any idea?
I honestly do not.
I think Roger said,
unfortunately, one is too many, but
yeah. Well,
Roger said a number today. I think he was just trying to generalize a number.
Estimate, yeah.
He said almost half or something like that. We're either damaged, not lost, but damaged severely or lost. I'd have to go back to my notes.
Well, the one number that I do know is that 100% of the 3,501 structures on the island were impacted.
Yeah, it's crazy.
100%.
Yeah. So Dan, when do we have to start thinking about the coastal construction line and what impact that will have on the build back of some of the businesses? Like, I looked at the coastal construction line last night, and there's no way Sunset Grill, or what's the one? I don't want Pierside Grill. I made a mistake last night. Terry called me and said Sunset was behind the CCL, so they're going to be okay with whatever he decides to do. But Pierside, you can't build that back, and apparently the Cottage is over the line. And if you look at the line where it is now, it goes right through Lynn Hall Park. I mean, how does that whole thing figure into how Times Square is rebuilt?
Well, it's going to be very important. Obviously, it's my understanding that you're not going to be able to build on the other side of the CCCL line. So if that's the case, then, from what I understand, you can build up to it. You just can't go past it.
Not at all.
That's my understanding.
Have you seen the line? Have you seen the latest line? Or right through Lynn Hall Park? Are you allowed to build a parking lot?
Well, I don't know if it's the latest line. It's the line. It's the line is where the line was before, as far as I know, unless I missed something and it changed. But the line was there, and I think part of the Sunset Grills parking lot was maybe like a corner of it. If I remember from the LPA days, was maybe a corner of it was just over the CCL line, but I'm not 100% sure. But I know that Pierside was obviously on the other side of it. So we don't know yet exactly what that's going to mean, but it's definitely going to shrink the building footprint as to what you can build back in Times Square.
It almost looks to me like there could be no buildings on the other side of Times Square the way they were. I mean, it would only be on one side, the other, like where the Peach Time outside was.
Well,
it looked like there can be no more buildings on the other side, like none of the restaurants, unless I'm reading it wrong.
You're talking about it's hard unless you see an overview of what was there with the coastal construction line on top of it, which it's out there. You could see an overview of where that line is and what was there before, and that will give you a really good idea of what you're going to have to work with going forward.
Got it. Anything else you want to recap before we let you go for tonight from the meeting? Did we miss anything?
Yeah, probably. I'm probably missed something too. But as I said at the very end, one of the positive notes, and this is my whole message of hope, and things are going to be okay, and we'll get through this. Some are going to obviously hurt more than others, but we're going to get through this. When I got the call today from someone that found, or they got contacted by someone that found one of the benches that families could purchase, the memorial benches. He told me the story about how his family's been down here for a long time, and they bought this bench in memory of their late mother and their late father and their late sister. And it was found on San Carlos Island. The people that found it are going to hold it. So today when I brought it up, I wanted to get the approval of my fellow counselors to work with staff to find a place to put this memorial bench. Their family has had a place at the Mariners Village by Snug Harbor down by Bayside Park. Once that's cleaned up, I think that would be a fantastic place and they want it to stay on Fort Myers Beach because the beach means so much to their family.
Cool.
I
Yeah,
think it's
that is a great
important to
story.
keep that bench down by where their family has spent their entire time. So hopefully when we get it cleaned up, I'm going to try to work with staff to find a place to put this very special bench that, as the person that found it said tonight to me, he's like, this is like steel. This is like something that doesn't float. For it to end up on a completely different island
It was built to
and to be
code.
found. He said it, I have not seen it yet, but he said it's in very good condition. It's got a couple minor scratches. It'll tell a story. It'll tell a story about what we've been through. It'll tell a story that I think would be a very good addition now to Bayside Park going forward for people to remember what was, and there's still stuff there from what is no longer. So I'm going to work on that to try to find a
Nice.
place
That'd be
as soon
good.
as we can get that.
You got so much
cleaned out.
spare
But,
time.
well, you know what? That's something you make time for you
Yeah.
in the morning.
You're going to have a lot
make
less
time to
time
figure
in
that
a few
kind of
weeks,
stuff out.
brother. Did you have a question, Mrs. Ryan?
It's about fines and stuff, but let's end
Yeah,
it on
yeah.
a note with
So,
that.
Dan, thank you so much, and we will talk to you soon. We always appreciate your updates, and have a great night.
Yep, you guys well. Thanks.
All right,
Thank you.
Councilman Dan Allers. I don't like to say this while he's on the show, but soon to be Mayor Dan Allers. Can you grab that sign there? I didn't. Yeah,
Yes.
somebody sent this to us. It's not really a sign.
And someone bought a sweatshirt, but we're not selling sweatshirts.
We're not selling sweatshirts. Everybody, don't buy something we're not selling. Somebody
got
sent
it
this in.
It's super nice too.
And I, the card is somewhere in the pile of cards of all you nice people sending us stuff. So pretty soon we're gonna have all nice things on
You
our
need
cabinet.
we need to get something behind us so
Yeah,
that
so everybody can see all the gifts that we've been given. No, you can't turn the camera. The studio needs to be the way the studio is. So that's it for tonight, right there. Anything else you wanted to share with our 9 listeners and viewers?
Nope.
$294,838 is the new number. And that's up from 289,611 last night. Let me check my phone once again to see how many followers we have. Not that I'm keeping track. 67,040. So since we've started the show, we went up 47 or 43 more people.
Wow. Well, that's
Yeah.
good.
And the only way we're going to be able to get more money to the people on the beach is if you keep sharing and people decide they like this show and then they give money. That's how it all works. It's like how the world goes
We
around.
need to be more entertaining.
Yeah. You need to step
You
up
need
your
to be-
game a little bit. You need to get more energy.
Dear,
Energize. Energize. Listen, we can sleep plenty when we're dead. So while we're awake, got to have some energy.
If you don't cut it out.
We're looking forward to the Friday night show. Will be the drinking show or the happy hour show, I should say. Tomorrow night.
Coffee show.
Tomorrow night will be Patrick Romko.
You will be. I don't think I will be able to.
You're going to take the night off.
Well,
You deserve a
I've got other
break. You
stuff
work
to
so
do,
hard
yeah.
on the show, putting everything together. And then Saturday, we'll be live from the Beach Baptist, where we'll have Pastor Sean. We'll have folks from the Women's Club so we can hand
is
off money Saturday at 9.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to do a special walk around from Bowditch Beach. I'm going to walk the coastal construction line. See how I can do that.
Are you going to do that? How?
I'm going to walk. What do you mean?
How
Sober?
are you going to find it?
I'm
It's
going to
not
print
like-
it out. I'm going to print it out and I'm going to walk like, an Egyptian.
You're going to need a GPS.
No, but there's a map of it online that Holly finds. Holly finds everything for me. She's like a producer of the show. Drink when you say ER or somebody. There was a couple of people that think we need to have a drinking game on Friday. I don't know. That could be costly for someone. There's Holly right there. Holly Dunham Ozan. I think she's like a high paid attorney or something like that. She's a smart one. Yeah. Thank you to all the volunteers. All right. We'll be back tomorrow night. I think Patrick is coming to the house. And that's it for tonight, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.